Welcome to this deep dive. We're tackling a really disturbing and honestly quite complex crime case today coming out of a suit in Egypt. We're working from a YouTube transcript you shared.
Yeah, and our goal here is to really unpack this account. We want to
Mhm.
pull out the key facts, the insights, to help you understand what happened and, well, the truly bizarre circumstances around it all.
It definitely takes some twists you wouldn't expect. We're digging into the details from the source, trying to, make sense of it for you. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the source takes us to a suit back in 2021. It's about 10 in the morning. Things seem normal.
Until they're not.
Exactly. A guy's riding his motorcycle near a canal, and he spots something just off.
What was it?
Well, it looked like a pile of garbage at first, but there was this black bag mixed in, and something felt wrong. He noticed blood leaking out.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that immediately changes things.
Completely. Curiosity turns into, horror pretty fast. He gets closer, looks inside the bag, and sees a human leg.
A human leg just there.
Yeah. Understandably, he starts screaming. People gather around. The police are called. Forensics arrive. The whole scene unfolds quickly.
So the police take over. They get the bag out of the water.
Right. And inside, they confirm it's the lower half of a man's body. The trunk, the legs, definitely a young man.
Grim. And I imagine a huge challenge right away for the investigators.
Absolutely. The source makes it clear identification was the first major hurdle. Forensics didn't give them anything immediate. They checked local missing person reports. Nothing matched.
So they hit a wall pretty early on.
A dead end, yeah. Lower half of the body, no ID, no local leads. Tough start.
Okay, so what's the next logical step then, according to the source, if they can't identify him yet?
They figure the rest of the body has to be somewhere nearby, right? So they bring in divers to search the canal thoroughly, slow process searching that murky water.
And did they find anything?
They did. After a full day of searching, further down the canal, the divers locate a second black bag.
Okay, so maybe some relief for the police. Thinking, all right, now we'll find the upper body, maybe get an ID.
That was absolutely the hope. The source says they were initially, hopeful, but when they opened that second bag, another shock.
What was it?
The upper body was there, but the head was missed.
Missing. So, wait, the leg in one bag, the upper torso in another, and no head. He was cut into 3 pieces.
That seems to be the realization hitting the investigators, yeah. The source really emphasizes this point. It wasn't just dumping a body. This was deliberate dismemberment. Lower half, upper half, head, all separated, discarded in different spots.
That speaks volumes, doesn't it? Brutal, but also calculated, trying to make identification impossible.
Exactly. It suggests a certain kind of thinking, a disturbing level of premeditation. So finding that head becomes absolutely critical.
I bet. The search must have intensified immediately.
It did. Police ordered the divers to keep going, focus on finding that final piece. And it wasn't long after, actually, that they found a third black bag.
And inside.
The head. The young man's head.
Wow. So finally, they have the complete body, even though it's found in pieces. Now the focus must shift entirely to identification.
Right. The source describes how they meticulously reassembled the body for photographs, paying close attention to the head, obviously, to capture his facial features clearly.
And they needed to cast a wider net than the local village for missing persons?
Yeah. They took the photos and information to the larger police center in Beirut, checked all the missing persons reports filed there.
Did they get a match?
Thankfully, yes. They found a report that matched the description of the young man.
Okay, so that's the breakthrough. They can contact the family now.
Which they do.
Yeah.
And the source describes what happens next as just deeply tragic. The family comes to the morgue. They see the body.
And they confirm it's him.
Yeah. They confirm it's their son. The source mentions just overwhelming grief, a truly heartbreaking identification.
Just awful. And who was he? Do we learn his name?
We do. The victim is identified as Ahmed. He was 28 years old.
Ahmed, 28. Okay, so now the police have a name, a face, a family. They can start building a picture of his life. What did the source say about him?
It gives us some background. He lived in a nearby village. Known locally as a really good person, respected. The source uses the term is, which means like reliable, decent, a stand-up guy.
So well regarded in his community.
Seems like it. The source also mentions his backstory a bit. When he was younger, around 23, he'd gone to Cairo.
Okay, to do what?
To learn a trade, specifically plumbing assess. And apparently he got really good at it.
Sounds like he was ambitious, hardworking.
Yeah, definitely comes across that way. He worked hard in Cairo, saved up, managed to buy himself a small Suzuki car, and then came back to Assiut, to his village.
And brought his skills back with him?
Exactly. And the source notes he kept that East reputation. He'd help people out with plumbing issues, other small jobs, often for free. Just helping his neighbors. Seemed really integrated, you know?
So a well-liked, hard-working young man returns home, helps people out. His family says he had no enemies, no disputes. Where does the investigation even start looking for a motive, according to the source?
Well, with Ahmed identified, the police naturally turned to his inner circle. They talk more with the family, who confirm again he'd been missing 4 days. They're poor, no known feuds.
Okay. What about other people in the village? Friends.
This is where things start to shift. The villagers tell the police something important. They say Ahmed's closest friend, without a doubt, was his cousin Adam.
His cousin?
Yeah, apparently they grew up together, basically like brothers. That's what the source says. And the villagers strongly suggest, talk to Adam. He'd know everything about Ahmed.
Makes sense. Talk to the best friend, the cousin. Standard procedure. So what did Adam tell them?
Adam gives them a story. He says, yeah, Ahmed was at his house the day he disappeared. He was fixing their washing machine. Then Adam claims Ahmed got a phone call, said he had to leave, and just left, and wasn't seen again. Adam even adds that he and some villagers went out looking for Ahmed late that night, around 2 a.m.
Okay, that sounds plausible, maybe. A sudden phone call, leaves. But you said things shifted. Was there something else?
There was. A crucial detail highlighted in the source came from the villagers, something that didn't quite fit with Adam's story or the situation.
What was it?
The villagers reported that just 2 days after Ahmed vanished, while he was still officially missing, they saw Adam's mother leaving their house.
Adam's mother. So Ahmed's aunt.
Exactly. Ahmed's aunt, his uncle's wife, they saw her leaving with a travel bag, getting into a private car. She told people she was going to Cairo for some kind of leg treatment.
Leg treatment. While her nephew is missing? That does sound odd.
It struck the villagers as very strange timing, and it immediately raised huge red flags for the police. Suddenly, Adam's story looked less plausible.
Yeah, you start thinking, why would she leave right then? Is there something they don't want people to see?
Precisely. That detail makes the police strongly suspect that something is hidden inside Adam's family home, that the key to Ahmed's disappearance lies there.
Okay, so that villager's tip completely changes the direction. The police now have a prime location to focus on.
Yes. They move fast. They get a warrant to search the house, Ahmed's uncle's house, where Adam and his parents lived.
And what did they find inside? The source must describe the scene.
Oh, it does. And it's bizarre. Utterly shocking is how the source puts it. Police enter the house and they're stunned. They see handprints.
Handprints. Like bloody handprints.
The source doesn't specify blood, just handprints.
Yeah.
But the shocking part is where they are, covering all the walls, every single wall, floor to ceiling, no exceptions.
What? Just handprints everywhere. That's incredibly disturbing. What could that even mean?
It immediately signals something ritualistic, something deliberate and deeply strange had occurred there. And it wasn't the only weird thing they found.
There was more.
Yeah. In one particular room, they discovered a hole dug deep into the floor. Very deep. The source says it measured 15 meters down.
15 meters? Why would they dig a hole that deep inside the house?
The immediate suspicion from the police, based on this, was that the family was digging for ancient artifacts. Illegal treasure hunting, basically, which happens in that region.
Okay, so illegal digging plus walls covered in handprints. This is getting stranger and stranger. What happens next?
Based on the handprints, the hole, the aunt's suspicious trip, the police arrest Adam's father, Ahmed's uncle.
And did he talk?
Well, according to the source, yes. Once arrested, he confessed to everything.
Everything. What was the reason? Why kill Ahmed? The source must explain the motive he gave.
It does. And his confession confirms the police suspicion about the digging. But it goes much, much darker. He admitted they were searching for ancient treasure they believed was buried into the house.
Okay, so greed was involved. But the handprints, the killing.
That's where it gets truly horrific. He confessed they'd hired a sorcerer, a Eat See, to help them find the treasure.
A sorcerer.
Okay, and this sorcerer told them the treasure was real, but it was guarded by jinn, supernatural beings.
Guarded by jinn. Wow. Okay, this is taking a turn.
A very dark one, because the sorcerer told them that to appease the jinn to get access to the treasure, they needed to make a sacrifice, a human sacrifice.
A human sacrifice?
Yeah.
Just any person?
No. And this is the coldest part of the confession detailed in the source. The sorcerer gave them incredibly specific requirements for the victim.
What kind of requirements?
It had to be a young man. He had to be the Susa shows the first joy, the firstborn son, basically, of his parents. He needed to be in his 20s, unmarried, tall, known for having a good reputation, and specifically known for being kind.
Wait, that sounds...
Exactly. Adam's father, hearing these exact specifications, realized, with, chilling clarity, that his nephew, Ahmed, fit every single one of those criteria perfectly.
Oh my God, so he chose Ahmed, his own nephew.
He chose Ahmed. He then planned it. He had his own son, Adam, Ahmed's cousin, his brother, lure Ahmed to the house, using the washing machine repair as the excuse.
Adam lured him there knowing what was going to happen. The betrayal. It's just unthinkable.
Involved in killing his own cousin.
You...
And the father confessed that after the murder, the sorcerer was actually there. He was the one who put his hand in Ahmed's blood and made all those handprints on the walls. It was part of the ritual for the jinn.
The handprints were part of the ritual. And the dismemberment, why do that?
According to the father's confession in the source, that brutal idea came from his wife, Adam's mother, Ahmed's aunt. She suggested cutting up the body as the way to get rid of it, to hide the crime.
The whole family, the greed, the superstition, it led them to this. Just unbelievable.
Driven by the promise of treasure, manipulated by the sorcerer's demands, they sacrificed Ahmed.
What was the final outcome? The source must mention the legal consequences.
It does. Based on the overwhelming evidence, the scene at the house, the confession, the source states that Adam, his father, his mother, the sorcerer, and anyone else confirmed to be part of the plot were all sentenced to death.
A grim end to an incredibly disturbing story. This deep dive really uncovered just layers of horror, didn't it? The calculated way they dismembered and tried to hide the body.
Yeah, and then the motive itself.
Yeah.
Rooted in this blend of ancient superstition, belief in jinn, and sacrifices, but fueled by very modern greed for treasure.
And the core of it, the betrayal by his closest family. His cousin, his aunt, his uncle. People who should have protected him.
It really forces you to confront the extremes people can reach, doesn't it? How desperation, greed, and these powerful, irrational beliefs, as detailed in this account, can lead to such horrifying acts.
Yeah. Ahmed's story, starting as this well-liked young man trying to build a life and ending up as a ritual sacrifice for treasure. It's just profoundly tragic.
It really underscores the dangerous power of belief when it gets twisted like this, especially when mixed with that desperate desire for wealth. It really makes you, the listener, think, doesn't it? Consider the power of those forces: belief, greed, desperation. How they can warp people to commit acts like this. What does this case make you think about how these ancient beliefs or fears can intersect with crime today?